I've had Pinterest stock rated as one of the best stocks to buy all year long in 2025, and I recently bought Pinterest stock for my own portfolio. So investors are asking me, what do I think about Pinterest stock in its upside for next year? Where do I think the stock price will end up by the end of 2026? So that's the question I'll answer in this video, looking at several estimates and assumptions and making a stock price scenario analysis for Pinterest and sharing with you my range for where I think this stock price ends by 2026. So I mentioned I'm going to need some data and some estimates to make this stock price prediction, and that's a good time to thank the sponsor of this video, Fiscal.ai. They aggregate a lot of the financial information I need to make stock price analysis. They save me tremendous amounts of time by aggregating all of the information in one place, so I don't have to go to so many different websites for investor relations to retrieve all this data. Specifically for this video, the numbers I need are the forward price to earnings ratio and the Wall Street analyst estimates for earnings per share for Pinterest. That's what I'm sharing with you on this screen here at Fiscal.ai. The fiscal year, which ends in December 2027, the Wall Street analysts that are following Pinterest stock expect the company to deliver $2.61 in earnings per share by December 2027, or by the fiscal year which ends December 2027. So I also need the company's forward price to earnings ratio because I'm going to combine the earnings per share estimate with the forward PE multiple to conduct different scenario analyses for Pinterest stock by the end of next year. And I can also get these numbers from Fiscal.ai. And the forward PE ratio for Pinterest, as I'm recording this video, is 17.7, near the lowest this stock has traded for according to this valuation, going all the way back to January of 2023. There was briefly a moment during the initial phases of the announcements of tariffs where Pinterest valuation fell to much lower than where it is today. But besides those brief moments, going back all the way to January of 2023, this is near the lowest you've been able to buy Pinterest stock. So if you're interested in these kinds of data and charts to help you with your financial analysis, there's a link in the description for Fiscal AI. You'll get a discount for using my affiliate link, and you'll get a free trial. So now that we have the data I need to make my stock price prediction, let's go into the scenario analysis. So in my scenario analysis for Pinterest stock for 2026, I'm keeping earnings per share constant at $2.61. That's what the Wall Street analysts believe Pinterest will deliver in fiscal year 2027. And I'm going to combine that with 4 different scenarios for the forward price to earnings multiple. So if all else remains the same and the company remains on track to hit this earnings per share target, and the market values the company at the same PE multiple, then the stock price could rise to $46.20 by the end of next year. That would be a nice increase from the $34 the stock is currently trading at. As a Pinterest shareholder myself, I would be happy with that return on my investment. But actually, I think the more likely scenario is that Pinterest's forward PE multiple trends higher over the next year. And I'll discuss several of the reasons why I think that's the case. But if the forward PE multiple were to increase to 20, the stock price could rise to $52 per share. If the forward PE multiple rises even further to 23, the stock price could rise to $60 per share. But it's not all upside scenarios. There could be downside with Pinterest. And if the forward PE multiple declines to 12, then the stock price could fall to $31 a share. Not a very big downside from the current share price. So if the worst case scenario happens and this is where the stock price ends by 2026, it wouldn't be devastating. Of course, there are more downsides that are possible, and I can't possibly account for every single scenario in my scenario analysis, but the 4 scenarios I've accounted for here are the 4 that I think are the most likely outcomes for Pinterest in 2026. Not all the scenarios, but just the most likely scenarios. So keep that in mind, that there could be more upside and there could be more downside than what I'm considering here. But as I mentioned, I think the most likely scenario is that the forward PE multiple trends higher and trends between the lower end of my scenarios here. The stock price prediction, as you might already know, I don't like to provide a pinpoint price. I like to provide a range because, as you notice, I'm using several estimates and assumptions to make this stock price prediction, and trying to give a pinpoint estimate might give the appearance of a precise calculation, which I don't want to do. This isn't a precise calculation. This is an estimate of what I think the stock price will do in 2026. So, all that being said, where do I think it ends up? Between $46 and $50 a share is where I think Pinterest shares end up by the end of next year. The forces that I think will drive Pinterest share price higher is the company's incorporation of artificial intelligence to its advertising services for marketers and entrepreneurs, making it easier to reach customers, making it easier to target customers, and therefore generate a better return on advertising spending. That will generate a higher average revenue per user for Pinterest, which the company is on the lower end of all social media companies in that particular metric. Some of the downsides could be that there's been some talk about Pinterest, the platform, having too much AI slop, and that's creating some negative perceptions from users on Pinterest, which could create some users leaving Pinterest and going elsewhere. But unfortunately, AI slop is everywhere. We're seeing more and more of this, uh, in my opinion, really bad content just flooding these social media sites, including YouTube and TikTok and Shorts, etc. And hopefully, these social media companies will do something about it, control it more, remove some of it off the platform. It's really, really bad content, and that's why people are complaining about it. That's not what you're going to Pinterest for. You're going to Pinterest to see real images of things that you're interested about. Maybe you're thinking about redoing your office space and you're trying to get ideas about your office space. You don't want to see AI images of offices. You want to see actual office spaces created by other individuals, and you want to see and consider using those for your own office upgrade. And so that's some of the downside there with Pinterest, but I think the upside will offset the downside. I think the company has made nice improvements in increasing the average revenue per user. They're one of only a few social media companies that is increasing the number of monthly active users from the United States and Canada, and those are the most lucrative monthly active users. So I think the upside is greater than the downside. Of course, that's one of the reasons why I bought Pinterest stock myself, and I see nice upside here for 2026. Hey everyone, I'm excited to announce that my book is finally available for sale. I've been working on it for more than a year now, so I'm really excited to finally share this with you now. It goes through my framework for evaluating stocks. Some of you often ask why I like this stock or why I like the other stock, and this framework provides you the things that I look at when I'm evaluating stocks. I've added the link in the description below.